Stress at Work in the Traffic Control Industry. A guide to identify stressful key factors and recommendations for improvement. According to OSHA, 1,000 people are killed in temporary traffic control work zones around the country every year. 90% of those crashes are the direct result of driving error. Transportation incidents and workers struck by vehicles and mobile equipment account for the highest number of fatal work injuries, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Through an exhaustive analysis of the working conditions of traffic control specialists, we want to visualize the stress levels in this type of industry and how this affects their work and personal life. Flaggers are the people on construction sites who control traffic. They work along roads and highways who help traffic keep flowing through a construction zone, despite a shutdown of lanes, and provide safety to labor workers. The basic requirements for the position include the following. Stamina. Flaggers are on their feet for long periods of time, average of 10 to 15 hours, often in adverse conditions, mornings to graveyard shifts. Teamwork. Flaggers work on a team to keep traffic moving and must be able to work and communicate with others. Training. State of Florida requires that the crew lead is certified advanced in the maintenance of traffic control (MOT) by Florida Department of Transportation, and the entry levels require flagger certification.
The dangers that come with workers such as flaggers call for immediate attention and up-to-date action. We would like to highlight to you one main safety concern when it comes to flaggers. You see, their exposure to dangers not only come from their shift work demands and stressors, but mainly come from outside components, such as an inactive or distracted driver. Just see for yourself this incident that just occurred last week on Tuesday, December 3rd.
While laying out safety cones in I-235, a highway helper notices a car racing towards him. He's able to dive out of the way just in time, the car narrowly missing him.
In 2017, the National Work Zone Safety Organization reported that our country that year resulted in a total of 710 work zone fatal crashes, of which resulted in 132 work zone fatalities. We can bring our attention directly to our state of Florida, and out of those figures, that same year resulted in 71 work zone fatal crashes, and out of those, 16 resulted in work zone fatalities. When we compare those figures to those reported back in 2008, unfortunately, we can see that the numbers have only increased.
Traffic control flaggers face job insecurity and conflict between work and family. The industry of flaggers is mainly on a 1099 contractor basis. However, it is possible for flaggers to work for government agencies like the Department of Transportation or employees in different companies. Flaggers who are contracted must jump from job to job to make ends meet. Many times they find work through staffing agencies that specialize in fulfilling the labor needs of construction companies. A flagger's work life can create conflict in their personal lives, and the industry itself has many factors that lead to job insecurity. The demand for their labor is affected by the customer's needs, the weather, holidays, and low season. This leads to stress in maintaining a steady income for themselves and their families. When their labor is in demand, it can be a very fast-paced job, as road work is done on a tight schedule. Flaggers' work schedules can vary every day. They are subjected to open availability and expected to work all types of shifts, including graveyard, or expected to work even longer than 10-hour shifts. It's also common for their schedule to be provided no more than 12 hours in advance for the next day. This type of work life can lead to difficulties in making time for themselves and their families. In a survey that was completed solely by traffic control flaggers, only one individual had control of the roster, also known as the work schedule. The individuals who had no control of the roster checked off that their families complained about their work schedule. In the same exact survey, Every flagger checked off that they work longer than 10-hour shifts for at least 5 consecutive days. There's a lack of work-life balance that not only affects flaggers individually, but their loved ones as well.
It's not every day as hard as the last one, you know what I mean? But you do have your days where it's very hectic, but you got to do it. But overall, it's good. It's a nice job. I like it. The only thing I do have concerns about is my hours. It's not mainly, say, they change us every day, put us with somebody else, because that's not really a factor to me. I could work with anybody. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It's just a factor if I'm working or not. You know what I mean? Because I do depend on this job like 100%. I do not have like another side hustler or something like that. So, you know, I depend on it to feed my family, you know, take care of my bills and all that. So when I don't get to work or I'm off for a few days like last week, it does stress me out because my bills don't get paid, and then I stress about that, where I'm going to get it from. So
let's look at the job demand control support model and see where our flaggers fall into that category. There are 3 major aspects of the job demand control model: job demand, job control, and social support. Job demand refers to workload in terms of time pressure and role conflict, and it predicts emotional exhaustion levels. Job control refers to the extent to which the employee can exert influence over tasks, predicts depersonalization and personal accomplishment. Social support refers to both supervisor support and support from colleagues. Let's put it all together. High demand plus high support equals active job. Low demand plus low control equals passive job. High demand and low control equals high strain job. Low demand plus high control equals low strain job. Our flaggers fall into the category of high demand plus low control. A high strain job plus a high isolation equals E strain job, and which is bad, most noxious work situation of all. Our takeaway points are: supervisor support can buffer negative impacts of job demands on depersonalization. There is a significant interaction between job demands, job controls, and colleague support. Nurses working in high-strain jobs benefited the most from receiving social support from colleagues. Support your staff and co-workers.
Flagging is a very fast-paced job, and as such, it can be very stressful. Flaggers do a lot of repetitive work, and like many construction jobs, a flagger has to be alert and focused at all times, because the job can be extremely dangerous. They need to stand on their feet for long periods of time, and they need to be confident enough to stand in front of cars at any time of the day or night and in extreme heat or cold. However, a lot of repetitive work might cause boredom, which is a very stressful condition and can be more damaging than overwork. Boredom may occur due to low levels of mental stimulation and lack of choice or control over daily activities. Obviously, there are boring aspects to almost every job. We can't all love everything all the time, so to a certain extent, it's up to employees to motivate themselves and make things more interesting. On the other hand, employers have to make sure that their employees are challenged. Boredom at work can be a real issue, and it could seriously damage the business in the long run. However, it is important to remember that boredom can be avoidable.
As a flagger, where are some of the things that stress you the most, and to which level?
Well, some of the things that stress me out is like the schedule, that it's always up and down, and I don't know what days I work, and also like the people, the pedestrians and stuff like that. It's very hard to deal with them because, you know, they be everywhere, and
Okay.
yes, it does stress out because some weeks I think I'll be getting this much pay, and then next week it'll be a lower pay, so it's it's kind of stressful.
What about balancing your work life and your personal life? Does your family or your friends complain on your long periods of time that you work and that not have a steady schedule?
Well, with the schedule that we have, I can't really, like, I don't do anything. I don't have a social life. I just work. So it's kind of like, it's kind of weird for me.
Although move-over law was passed in 2002, 17 years later, we still have fatal accidents where flaggers are involved. There is no true commitment to save lives. You saw that in the video that we shared with you, where one flagger and police officer almost lost their lives. On the other hand, there is no obtainable life-work balance when it comes to flaggers. They work more than 10 hours per day, and in addition, they must be available 24/7. Flaggers' jobs are high demand but low control. According to the demand control support model, flaggers can be effective because of the nature of the jobs, which is very stressful and demanding, yet with very little authority and control. Flaggers might be one of the professions replaced by artificial intelligence. Advanced companies in the industry plan to use the flagging technology with the purpose of removing flaggers from traffic and keeping them safe. The smart flagger system is one of them. It can be used to record incidents, accidents, or unlawful acts. It exposes no workers to drivers because it is operated via a tablet by one person in their work zone vehicle nearby. Another one is the automated flagger assistance device. It might be used to reduce the possibility of worker injury. The new technology incorporates familiar visual aspects into the automated system, which can be used extending through multiple shifts by simply rotating out the human operator. This technology is an alternative to placing flaggers and decreases the danger to workers while providing a safe and secure method to manage traffic. The companies that are considering implementing artificial intelligence in this field consider themselves safety-oriented companies, and their goal is to improve safety by taking advantage of the latest in technology.